All right, let's listen to this.
Supporting your wife is, if she carries the burden, the financial burden of the house for too long, it will take its toll on your marriage. I don't care how supportive, how godly she is. I don't care how much she loves you. Why? She's not built for it. And unfortunately, most women don't have the wisdom required in that phase of their relationship. They are feeling genuine stress, but they don't know how to communicate it well so that their communication can build, not destroy. Because at that phase of the life of a man, is more sensitive than ever. Anything you say will be held against you at the court of law. Anything you say will be remembered at that time, because it's an extremely sensitive period and phase of their life. So as a man, you have to be intentional about building your finances. Whether you like it or not, you have to provide. God has put you in that space. In fact, scripture says the man who cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel and has denied the faith. And I strongly recommend you go back to that message series on God and money. It's on our website, free. Listen to it again and again.
Wow, who is this? Is Dr. This is Lawrence Onochie. Lawrence Onochie. Dr. Lawrence Onochie. He is saying it is not. Let me just read this. This is I'm reading directly from Linda Ikiji blog official. It says Nigerian clergyman says letting your wife carry the financial burden. Hold on 1 second. Letting her carry the financial burden for too long can damage a marriage. A Nigerian clergyman has shared a strong message on marriage finances and responsibility, warning men against allowing their wives to shoulder the financial burden of the home for an extended period. According to him, no matter how loving, supportive, or spiritually grounded a woman is, carrying the financial weight of the household for too long can take a serious toll on the marriage. And I quote, I don't care how supportive, Onochie, I don't care how supportive your wife is. If she carries the financial burden of the house for too long, it will affect the marriage. She's not built for it, he said. He explained that while many women experience genuine stress during such phases, they often struggle to communicate it in a way that builds the relationship rather than damages it. At the same time, he noted that men going through financial difficulty are usually in a very sensitive phase of life, where every small comment can leave lasting emotional scars. At that stage of a man's life, he's extremely sensitive. Anything you say will be remembered. The clergyman stated. He went on to emphasize that men must be intentional about building their finances and building their role as providers, stressing that responsibility is not optional. Lawrence Onochie. I think there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. Again, this is not one of those things where I expect you to necessarily admit to without thinking through it. Okay? I don't necessarily expect you to admit to it without thinking through it. I believe that, obviously we're in a shift. When it comes to gender roles, men are responding to the fact that bills everywhere, and it's probably unrealistic to expect an average man to carry the financial weight of sustaining a family, especially in the Western world, where you want to have 2 cars in the family. Both cars must be Range Rover or better. You want to live in a large house with at least 4 bedrooms or better. And for an average man, in order to do that, they're going to need the support of their wife. The wife will need to work a full time, right? So in addition, you had that layer on top of the layer of women are decentering men. Please, ladies, don't use that language. That language is lame. Okay? When it comes to romantic relationships and marriage, do not use that language. You can use it if you're like what do you call it? Chimamanda, and you're having like a talk at the United Nations level, and we're fighting for equality of rights and outcome for women. I agree with that 100%. At that level, at the social level, macro level, sure. When it comes to marriage, romantic relationships, it's absolutely lame to use languages like decentering men. Okay, do not replace it with decentering family members, decentering mother. It's just lack of game. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, the reality is that we have social constructs that you enjoy a certain type of double standard, and the other side also enjoy the double standard as well, their own side of the double standard. It's about strength and weaknesses. Okay, so so this young man he's trying to, I call him a young man, looks like someone in his 60s. This baba is trying to make a point here, I guess, and I would say it's not a matter of letting your wife. I think it's a matter of being sensitive to the environment you live in. um Social and emotional intelligence, that's what it comes down to. Okay. Social and emotional intelligence obviously involve active listening. It's not just the environment you live in, but the times, the phase of life, the stage of life that you and your spouse that you're in. Sometimes financially it's tough, right? And yes, gentlemen, you will be required to lead, even if she's saying this is all partnership, there's no leadership. You in real life, you will be required to lead. And if you buy into that rhetoric, you will collect more. It will get worse for you. Even though if she's the same person that's saying we're both partners and equal partners, she expects you to carry the heavier weight of leading.
Sorry, oh.
If you can't do it, you will be replaced directly or indirectly. How is that fair? Well, it's fair because clearly you're fighting for fairness. You don't know your position as a man. It is what it is. But this woman should also know, yeah, exactly. See that those kind of languages, it's essential. Those are exactly the reason why she can't respect you. She's having a hard time respect you. So instead of her to probably seek help, she's also doubling down on it. She's agreeing with you. She's playing equality with you. She's playing fairness with you. Okay, because that's what you are agreeing to. But back to the conversation itself. It is never about money. On the surface, it looks like money. It's about when there's crisis, how do you handle the crisis when there's active crisis going on in your relationship? Okay. It is easy to blame money because all of us are striving higher every day. When you get to a new level, you want something better, right? So money can always be an issue, just like it's an issue for money can, if you turn it to about money, then you go collect. It's not really about money. Money is just one of those easier things to point fingers at, and usually there's some kind of crisis going on, good enough to point fingers at. Okay, but I think it's more so about leadership. How do you handle yourself as a man if you find yourself in that space, right? When you're making all the money, you're a multiple six-figure earner, it's easy to act like you're a man at that point in time, but it will be tested when you end up in the valley sometimes where things are not where it's supposed to be. So yes, if she's stepping up and she's doing the needful and she's stressed out, do you start to interpret that with your insecurity and say, is it because you're not helping with finances? Do you go in defensive mode first and then you end up in divorce? And then instead of us talking about you got defensive, you want to talk about, well, she wasn't supportive or she got pride. Yeah, two things can be true at the same time, but it's more so the defensiveness. That defensiveness is 1/4 of what it takes to end up in divorce. Okay, defensiveness, criticism, contempt, and what's the fourth one? Stonewalling. Those are the signs right there that you need to pay attention to. I'm not talking about what created the defensiveness. Yes, she might have been disrespectful, but when you find yourself in that space, did you know how to handle yourself? If you don't know how to handle yourself, see, I'm not saying anything specific because it will be dependent on your specific story. What else is going on in your specific relationship? But what I'm telling you across the board is that once you end up in a space where someone is being defensive, especially if you claim you want to lead, yes, it's going to backfire badly. And guess what? You'll be right if you want to blame her, because I cannot judge you for wanting to blame, but blaming her will actually help you perpetuate the issues you're dealing with again. It's poisonous. It gets worse and worse because blaming her is focused on who is right and who is wrong, as opposed to finding a way to put the team back together and fight the forces of evil against your relationship or your marriage. Everything I just said is easier said than done. So you might need support system sometimes, whatever form it comes in, because like I said, it's going to feel unfair. Shout out to Bruce. Bruce said, I got hurt and my wife took care of us for 4 years while I got better. We have been married 29 years. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so it's this generalized point of views. We have to be careful. While I understand where it's coming from, making it about money is just super dangerous. Thank you for sharing that. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification so you are notified whenever we drop videos and go live. I've got a ton of videos. Make sure you go watch at least 3 videos as soon as we're done with the session. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll be back in due time. This is Ola, Man of Prestige, your favorite relationship and marriage coach. If you enjoyed this, smash that like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Be a part of the Prestige family. My wife, Lola, and I have written 2 powerful books, Get My Marriage Back and Number 1 Red Flag. Yours free at manofprestige.com. For personal coaching, send me a WhatsApp request for consultation to +1 732 305 8577. Stay tuned for more. Your journey to love and prestige starts here.